Um, so first of
Jessica,
all,
before
yeah,
you,
go ahead.
two things that I'd like to point out for you, just for everyone. First is that I am recording the session, so please know that it is being recorded. Second, I just enabled the live transcript, so you should now see at the bottom of your screen a closed caption button. If you wish to have closed captions, you can click on that and it will show either hide subtitles or show subtitles.
Thank you. And if you're hosting a meeting, I understand you have to turn that on every time if you're the host. Is that right? For everybody's, so you know, if you want to use it, it's available to you. You just have to remember to turn it on.
That is correct, and you should use it because it is an accessibility issue and it is easy and it is free and it does not cause you any trouble.
Except for the meeting I was in last week for the American Library Association, where someone requested it because they needed it to understand, and it went down. So hopefully that was a one-time thing. It seems to work pretty well, but it's nice. You're right. It's nice to have that, and we should use it. So the faculty and staff in the Office 365 around Christmas time. You still have access to Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, but now we also have access to a whole suite of other apps and other products. So you may have heard words thrown around like Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive, and have no idea what these are or how they integrate or how you access them or how you use them or why you should use them. So the goal of this workshop today is to point out some of those use cases. Well, first of all, we'll show you how to get them, point out some use cases, and then really we're open to take questions and answer those for you. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. So the first thing I want to tell you is how to get to Office 365. So I'm going to share my screen here. And to get to Office 365, you simply type in office365.com into your browser of choice. And every time you come to this website, whether you've been well, if you've been away from it, I'm not sure exactly how long the timeout is, but it does time out, seems to be fairly frequently. So if you'll see up here on the right-hand side, mine actually has my name, but yours might say sign in. If you click that and let's see me sign out here. If you click that, it's going to ask you to sign into your Microsoft account. You do not need to create a Microsoft account. Your LR email address is your Microsoft account. So again, up here on the right-hand side, click sign in, and then type your entire LR email address. So for Canvas, we hound and make sure you know it is not the @lr.edu. For this one, it is the @lr.edu. And then once you click that, you shouldn't be prompted for a password as long as you already signed into the system. So you'll click next, and then it will open here. And I've been prompted to enter my password after I told you didn't have to. I think it's because I actually clicked sign out, but usually it just asks you to sign your name in. Okay. So when you come in here, this is still new to me, new to all of us, most of us, and we're all still learning. So I will tell you, I'm no expert at this. So if you have questions, put them in the chat and ask them, as we go along. And we have Cherie's used this a lot. Devin's been playing with it a lot. Jenny Michaels teaches it. So between everybody here, the collective wisdom, we should be able to answer your question. Also, anybody stop me if I'm saying something incorrect. I've read a lot of help documents, and some of them are updated at various points. And with constant updating, products tutorials become out of date really quickly. So I just want to give you a little tour of what this looks like, and then we're actually going to go into Canvas and show you how it can be used. But first, I wanted to let you know how to access it. So on your left-hand side here, you may see this toolbar down the left-hand side, like that's on mine here. So you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you're used to those, and Outlook. So your email is integrated here. And then you have the cloud for OneDrive, OneNote, SharePoint, Teams, Sway, Forms, Bookings, and if you whatever you click on shows up here. So I clicked on Delve to see what it was, and now it shows up on my left-hand side. But there are 9 dots up here on the left-hand side of your screen, to the left of Office 365. And if you click those, you can see the apps that you have access to that are just kind of risen to the top. And then if you click all apps, you can see all of the ones that are available to you. You can see that there's a lot here. There's a lot available through Microsoft. I'm still learning how to use a lot of these and if I want to use them. We may have other products that work better that we use instead, or just not have a use for right now because we're looking at this from the academic side rather than from a business side. So there's some tools that will work better for you than others. I'm going to just check the chat right here and make sure. Fantastic. Cherie said that they will be having a similar session to look at the apps. So I will definitely attend that. Recommend you all do that too. And the email address that you put in Office 365 is your email. So your LR email and the entire email. So you want the .edu portion. I'm going to click here on OneDrive. OneDrive is the closest equivalent that you are thinking that about, which is Drive from Google. So Google Drive, which our students have been using, they will be transitioned to Microsoft Office 365 as soon as the school year ends. So in May, as they're wrapping up, they'll be moved over to this. So everybody will be on the same system. So when you click Drive, you can see on mine here, I have different folders. So in these folders, I have lots of documents. This one happens to be synced to my desktop. So even if I would lose my computer, I can come in here and these files are still going to be accessible to me. And it allows you to work with them off without the internet as well. So if you would lose the internet for some reason, you can still access and work on your documents that are here. I put a couple here that we're going to look over just for examples. You can see I have a Word document in here, a PowerPoint presentation, a video, an image. So it holds all different kinds of file types. And you can share directly from here. And again, we're going to go move into Canvas so that it can show you what this looks like and not just describe it because it's much easier to see. And then we'll come back to here. So right now I am going to my test instance of Canvas. So you will not see right now on the left-hand side Office 365 in your instance. We turned this on early in the semester thinking that it would be okay to be there even though the faculty and staff have it, but the students don't have it, and it created some issues that we didn't foresee, and so we removed it. So you won't see this right now. It will appear in May, and I'm sure Devin will send an email letting everyone know that it's available, but it will automatically show up in your left-hand side. So again, you don't have this, so don't freak out if you're looking and it's not in your list. It shouldn't be in your list. But once you do have Office 365 integrated with Canvas, so again, in May, you will be able to share documents with your students from your OneDrive account. You will be able to receive documents from students from their OneDrive, so they can submit documents to you that they've created in OneDrive. You can use the collaborations tool, so students can work together on a document. You can embed files in your messages. So if you were going to send an announcement out, you can embed a document that you have in OneDrive. We're going to look at some of those to show you exactly what those look like. So the first thing is in assignments. So if I click over here for an assignment, and I've already built one and added Devin as a student so that, again, you can see what it looks like from both sides. And this assignment is called tree pose. Again, we just had a yoga session, so made these yoga-esque. So I created an assignment. I put my instructions just saying submit your assignment on Office 365. And the only thing that you need to do different than you normally would is to make sure that file uploads is checked. And that way your students will be able to submit this document with a file upload. And so after that, we'll click save. It looks no different here on my side. So now I'm going to switch, Devin, I will stop my screen share, and if you will pick up your screen share, you can all see what it will look like on your student side.
Did that work? Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. You can see now I have logged in here as a student in Jessica's Sandbox course. Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure that I had unmuted. I guess someone would have told me. Somehow I just turned Camtasia on. I'm sorry about that. Let's close that. That wasn't what I meant to do. I can come down here to tree pose. And wait for it. As a student now, when I want to submit my assignment, here I have 3 options. I can upload a file, and that's going to just find something on my computer's hard drive that I can then upload. Google Docs has been here for our students because they are on Google, and I linked my Google account. But here I can click my Office 365 account. And we did this yesterday, and it worked just fine. Let's click back over here and
Always works when we test it.
there it goes. There's
There
the little
you go.
bubble that's spinning. Sorry, it's a network issue here. I can come through here and find whatever document I need to submit for the assignment here and click attach file and then submit assignment. And it pulls it directly from my Office 365 account into Canvas. And I think at this point, I will stop screen sharing and hand it back to Jessica.
Thank you. Sarah, your question, do they have to have the link to Office 365 or will it automatically be connected? I am almost positive that it will automatically connect and that they don't have to do that. But because we haven't tried this out with students yet, we're not absolutely sure. I think because of the integration with that we're all in the same system, but I'm not positive on that. We will make sure that we let you know though before this goes live.
Sarah, I believe that if you look on Jessica's screen where it shows on the left-hand sidebar, Office 365, I believe that any user has to click that and authorize the connection between 365 and Canvas.
That's right, because I think that we had to do that at the beginning.
Yes.
Good call. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm going to refresh my page and I can actually go into SpeedGrader and view Devin's submission. So once I'm here in SpeedGrader, it'll open. You can make comments over here and assignment comments and they will see that. But know that if I were to use the point annotation or any of the in text, it will not show up on their side. So we really need to make sure that you know that if you're grading it in SpeedGrader, they will not see the in text comments. However, you can go, and this is a little bit more cumbersome because you'll have to take their grade from one place to another, but I'll show you. If I go into files here, it created a folder for me called Canvas, and we did a practice one yesterday. So that was a test one. It hasn't showed up. The last time we did that, Devin's document that I shared with him showed up here, and I was able to go into OneDrive and actually see that document. So I'm going to keep checking on that and see if that goes into there, because at that point I can come in here and use the collaboration and the markup to be able to give them information on that specific submission.
Jessica, does that one actually show as being submitted yet? in the speed grader? Yeah, it does. Okay.
It does. I'm honestly really not sure why it's not showing. It's not showing up over here. This folder was created automatically yesterday whenever we tested it with the test doc. And then I added something here. So I'm going to have to look into that. Honestly, I don't know why it's not showing up there. But you do have access to it again through the speed grader. So that's an easy way for the students to share that. Let me see what questions are over here. Katie, there was a team that looked at on the IT governance side that looked at comparison of Microsoft over Google, and to the best of my knowledge, Cherie and Devin, correct me if I'm incorrect, but I believe that Microsoft was chosen because a lot of students will be using Microsoft after they leave the university. And so they want to have that experience, and that it's good for the business side and more secure. So those are the reasons that I remember. But and Cherie put, thank you. Cherie wrote that it's more secure, a more feature-rich platform, and that it's the best practice standard. So that was why it was chosen over Google. Thank you, Cherie. And thank you for the question. All right, so after assignments, or actually I'm going to click on a new assignment here. Yes, they can see the in-assignment comments as long as you put them over here in the box where it says comments. If you put it on the paper for their speed grader, they won't see it because it's their document is linked and not actually saved in Canvas. Okay, so this will be mountain pose. And let's say this time that I have a template that I want to push out to students. So a template or a worksheet that I want all the students to fill out and submit. So I don't want a form. I want, let's say, a journal entry. So this time when I come into assignments, I am going to click for the submission type rather than online. I'll click external tool. And then from there, you click find, and then you want to find Office 365 Cloud Assignment. And again, you won't see this because you don't have it installed yet. And so this is connecting automatically to my OneDrive because they gave it permission before. And let's say that I want to give them this yoga journal doc. So I'm going to click that, attach the file, select again, and then I'll put a due date on here and save and publish. So now that will be sent out to the students, Devin, and I'm going to stop sharing here in a second. So he'll pull that up, and what will happen is every single student will get that same document, but they'll have the option to save it with their name, with their initials. So again, let me stop my screen sharing. Thank you.
And by the way, as I'm finding this one, Jessica, what was the assignment called?
Mountain pose.
Okay. As I'm pulling this up, we will develop over the next couple of months specific video instructions on how to do all of these things. So don't feel like you have to get all of this right this minute.
Good point. Yeah, this is really just showing kind of what's out there and what's available as you're thinking about building your courses for the summer and fall. But we do not expect you to be able to do this right at the end. There's a lot. I even have notes, and I've practiced this many times.
So you can see, I can see the document here. I cannot fill it out right here unless I choose edit document. I can.
And I believe, Devin, the directions say to click open. So I'm curious what edit will do. Like, I guess can you actually edit my document here? You sure can.
But I don't know. I don't think that's editing. Oh, you know what? That's probably because I have admin rights, even though I'm in a student role.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. So the students will only see the open option. They won't be able to edit your document. So now it's going to open for them in Office 365 Word. Devin he doesn't even have to rename it because when he sends it in to me, it's going to be connected to his name. So let me go back here.
So I click edit.
Spoken like a true student, right? What did you learn at today's convo? I didn't go to today's convo.
So you could see I edit it. I come back into my Canvas window and I click submit. And that submits my assignment. And I will hand it back to Jessica to show the speed grader, even though apparently I could do that because
yeah, you could.
It's the weirdness of being enrolled as a student in the class, but also a Canvas admin. It gives me strange privileges that your students will not have.
So now when we come into here and I go to speed grader,
And we're still learning about this.
And whenever he submitted it, it should have shown up here with his information. If I click this link here, that didn't download it either. Okay, so theoretically, this does work. I've seen this work. I've watched videos from other schools. So know that this does work and that we will have all the kinks worked out by the time you are ready to use this with your students. But those are two different ways that you can access Office 365. The other ways or the other options that you have are collaborations. So your students you can create a collaboration for them. Start a new collaboration, and then Office 365 will be an option. You get 3 choices. So if you want them to collaborate on a Word document, an Excel document, or PowerPoint. And then after you do that, you can give it a name and put them into groups. So I can put Devin and Jenny Michaels over here in a group and then save it. And now that will appear for both of them on screen and also in their OneDrive. So they'll be able to work on that assignment even without going into Canvas. It's just taken a little bit of time, but the LTI reached out and it pulled in that Excel classwork. And so Devin and Jenny should also have access to this document so that they can work together. It's the same collaborations that you may have used with your students using Google Drive. We asked you to stop using that because Google Drive was not playing nicely with the LR instructors' emails. So we'll reintroduce collaborations again now that we have a product that fully integrates throughout the students and the instructors.
You want me to show that from a student perspective?
Yeah, that would be great.
So in the student role, I've come in here to collaborations and you can see I have classwork. I hope this works because we didn't, this one I have.
Yeah, we didn't try this one.
And I do not know, this looks like network that is running slow or it's my computer. I'm not sure which. While that is running, I would be curious, Jessica, if you could check the speed grader again on that other one because it shows for me. Now I'm in the Microsoft Excel sheet that Jessica created for us to work on.
And I typed got it just to show that something
Jenny,
happened.
Perfect.
Jenny's done something. If I go into edit mode, we could see there. I could put in here that I need Jenny to help me figure out my grade in class. I'm not sure how to tell if I'm failing or passing. Jenny, can you average those for me and help me, because I'm terrible at this kind of stuff. Jenny knows Microsoft much better than I do. I'm not doing so well. So you can see there are lots of possibilities for kind of collaborative work through the collaborations tool.
And let me go back here to screen share. First of all, you can see here that I can see the got it, and I know there's more here. It's just it's not an instantaneous type it in, me be able to see it, but know that you can come in here and that you can check on the work of your students. So here's the collaboration between Devin and Jenny. I can come in here and click classwork, and I can see what they've been working on. Again, there seems to be some issues today pulling it up, it's just a little bit slower, but it does show it here. Devin earlier submitted the mountain pose assignment, and you can see now that it actually did show up with I didn't attend. So I think it's just, again, a network speed issue, a Canvas, whatever it is, but it does show up over here in SpeedGrader. Again, I could just add my assignment comments over here. Katie, you asked about that, so Devin can see this. But if I click on here, and leave him a message there, when he goes in, he won't be able to see this message that I left him. Actually, I need to check on that. He won't be able to see it in his Office 365 Microsoft account. He may be able to see it if he clicks on the comments in SpeedGrader within Canvas. I need to check that. I never thought about it that way. So I need to check on that and make sure. Okay, and then two other places I want to show you where you can integrate this, and then let's open it to questions and conversation. So if you are in modules and you want your students to read a journal article for a particular week, normally you'd have to have that downloaded on your computer, uploaded into Canvas so that they can see it. Well, with the integration, you can click Add and then External Tool. And then again, scroll down here and find Office 365. And then it's going to, again, go through and open or access my OneDrive. And I have a PDF here that I want to share with them. So I will attach the file, click Add Item, and then publish it. And now this PDF, students can click on it and it will open up for them. So I shared it directly from my OneDrive and it's available here to them. So you can use that to build out within your modules. If, for instance, you want to give them access to that journal article within a page in Canvas, so using the Pages tool, you do that by you'll see if you haven't looked at this yet or haven't seen it yet, the menu changed around, I think around Christmas time again. So it may look a little different to you. What you're looking for is this little plug icon. And when you click that, it shows you the apps that are connected. So I'll click Microsoft Office 365. Again, this accesses my OneDrive account, the OneDrive cloud account, and I can click this and attach it so that they can click it. One thing I did notice in this, and maybe there's something I'm doing wrong, and please tell me if you know what it is, but if I were to add an image, so let's say I wanted to add an image here. If I click on the image of the balloon and click attach file, it just lists it out as the title.jpg. It doesn't show you the actual image. So I think you would still have to go over here to the upload embed image and do it from your computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Office 365 app only gives you a link to a file. The upload embed image will actually embed the file.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Jessica, if you could you may have pointed this out, but I may have missed it as well. If you can open up the Office 365 app to show one more thing, because this really frustrated me for a while, and it took me a few times to realize that you have to click the little checkbox over on the left-hand side. You can't just double click OneDrive Workshop is not going to work. You have to check the box and then click attach file.
I did that many times too, because usually when you
Yeah.
click it, it automatically checks. Microsoft is like that all over. And yes, that is something I'm having to get used to as well. You physically have to put your cursor in here and check it.
Sheree tells me, by the way, that we're not having network issues. Network issues for people like me is
Slow internet.
something behind the scenes is not working right, but I have no idea what it is. So
Right.
don't
Okay.
want to throw our IT team under the bus and make it sound like something's wrong with the network when that is actually not the case.
Good call. That's, yeah, I'm with you, Devin. I'm like, it's not working the way that it should be, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why. Okay. I will stop sharing my screen here so that I can see you all. And what questions do you have? Either about capabilities, about just anything. You have people here that can answer it for you, so please ask. Or if there's something that you've done using Google Drive with your students and want to know the equivalent or how you could go about doing that, or if there's with Microsoft Office, or if there's something you're thinking about doing, please ask too, because we can help you think through that.
Hey, Jessica, here's somebody who knows nothing, as usual.
No,
I
not
was
at all.
really interested, one of the things I missed with the blended class are collaborative projects, but I was really, really interested. What made my ears perk up was journaling, because I want to I want to make that an important part of this 188 I'm doing in the fall. So is this, well, you have two questions. Will this be a good way to handle journaling? And secondly, are you going to have a workshop specifically designed for that journaling or collaborative working in the future? Thanks.
Yeah, good question. So again, somebody jump in if you have a better answer, but Microsoft OneNote, I think, would be a good place for students to do journaling, because you would have access to each of those, and it's sort of like a notebook. So you can have different pages in this OneNote notebook, and OneNote is the product. Do you have any, and I'd be glad to, if we don't do a specific workshop on OneNote, it sounds like Sheree might actually cover that in hers. One way or the other, we'll look at it, even if that's in a one-on-one capacity. But has anyone else had any other experiences with something like having students continuously update a document and share it? I mean, Microsoft Word will work for that. I just think it's a bit easier. Sway also would work. So maybe it depends if you're going to have them, putting like photojournalism, or if it's strictly just text. There might be different, well, there are different options, I guess, depending on the outcome, what you're looking for.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Do you know if we still have access to like these technologies we got access to during Go React and Hypothesis and things like that?
You want to go ahead, Devin?
Yeah, current plan is that we expect to. I would plan as though we do. The one that you will not have, I think, is Biosig ID, unless you are teaching in an online or blended environment.
And I don't see anybody saying, "Oh no, we won't have Biosig ID." So,
I just wanted to point out too, if you're accessing, if you go to the office365.com and you're using the dots menu, you are getting a less robust version of Office than the full downloaded desktop version. So it's kind of like a Google Drive equivalent of the programs, and all of the functionality isn't necessarily going to be there. You know, you're not losing a lot, but you are losing some. I think I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since we did Word, like some maybe page numbers or something. Some things like that, some features that aren't available in the cloud version that are available in the fully downloaded version.
I think maybe the spell check is not available in the
Yeah.
version. It was something that I use on a regular basis. I figured it was something I was doing incorrectly.
Yeah, no, there's
The
because
ruler,
The
the
ruler.
ruler showing tab stops is not available in the online version of.
yeah, so just to be aware, you know, if for just going in and typing a document, you're gonna be fine. It'll be like doing the Google Drive. But if you are wanting the full formatting and all of those functionality, then you need to actually download the version and use the desktop version.
Thank you, Jenny. And will those is that automatically pushed out to our builds? Because I've pressed download Office like 8 times and talked to Devin, and I'm like, I can't get it to work. And it's because he said it's already on the machine, and that it says that because you can put it on up to 5 different devices. So I'm a bit confused about that process. I'm Sheree, I don't know if you know the answer to that or not. Sorry to put you on the spot.
And I hate to say I wasn't paying attention.
No worries, no worries. Will the
She's chatting
desktop?
with me in the chat window about why my computer's running slow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Will the desktop option programs for, Word, Excel, are those automatically pushed out to our computers, or is that something that we would have to actually download ourselves?
I'll have to check with Robert on that.
Okay.
I think it's pushed, but I'll check with him.
Okay, thank you.
And something that I will mention, we're veering away a little bit from the use in the classroom, but I think that's okay. We have, at least my license has, I can show you how to check this on your license, and I think they're all the same. The ability to install the desktop suite on up to 5 computers. So if you have a home computer, it's, you're able to download it there. Just wanted to let people know that. I've had a couple of people who have emailed me and said, I'm really not happy with the online version of Microsoft Word. What can I do? And the answer is download the desktop app.
This is probably user error, but whenever I was typing, I was editing the faculty minutes, and I went somewhere else, and I came back and my changes were gone, and I couldn't revert to get those changes. I'm not sure what I did there, but maybe as you're using it, save often, and because it's supposed to be an automatic save actually. So I'm pretty sure that was user error, but just be aware if you're typing, if you have this, brilliant, idea and you're typing it, you may want to make sure that it's on your desktop version. I was using Office 365 and it did not record my history. You can also let your students know that they have that they will be having access to Office 365 and the products. So if they're going to purchase a new computer this summer or coming into the fall, they do not need to pay extra, a lot extra, to have this installed on their computers. I don't think a lot of them know that they have that capability to get that at a student rate, that they do not have to purchase it. So that would be good. Good information for your students too.
Anything else that we can help with?
So
Thinking-
I put a question in the chat. Will we be able to share our OneDrive folders with our students? So for instance, in the Career Center, my staff are students. And so I send them emails to a Gmail account. We've got all our files there that we can all access together. Will that be more of a Microsoft Teams function or a OneDrive type of function?
It's a great question, Katie. You can do it in both places. So the way I understand Teams to be is if you're doing communication and collaboration kind of live, Teams is a really good place to house it. You can chat, you can send email, you can share documents. SharePoint also has this capability, but it's more so that if you're working on kind of long-term documents, and I honestly still have a hard time differentiating between Teams and SharePoint and knowing which one is better to use. So if anybody can make that clear, they're not clear in my head. But yes, I can share my screen here with you and I'll show you. So we have a Microsoft. Well, you can see right here from my top menu that I have documents that are shared with people and that some that I only see. This one, you can see that Devin edited this one. So if I click over here to go to Teams, it's slowly opening here. I have about 4 or 5 different teams set up right now. The CTL, we use one there. I believe faculty assembly is a team. That's slowly opening here for us. Oh, thank God. IT will be doing and managing projects with Microsoft 365 that will be helpful to clarify what each is used for. I will certainly be attending that one. So again, I could click on Get the Windows app, but I'm going to click Use the Web app instead. So we have one here for IT governance, faculty assembly. This is where the athletics calendar is. But if I click on IT governance, for instance, you can see that these are comments or conversations, but then there are also files. So if you put your file in here and you share this, you can share this with all of your students. They can all come in and then edit that document. In order to share it, you should be able to just click on the team and click add member to that team. So you can add them there. The other option, kind of the same as in Google Docs, or I'm sorry, Google Drive, is if you have that list of files here in your OneDrive, you also have the ability to share it with one. So if you wanted to share something with AJ, let's say, you could click here and manage access and share that with him, or click up here and click share. So one person, you could do it that way, but if you want your whole team to have access to it, it sounds to me like the best idea would be Teams. But attend Cherie's workshop because she will give you the real answer on that one. You can also sync your desktop to OneDrive and vice versa. And to do that, on the bottom of your computer down here in the task tray down at the bottom right-hand corner, you should see a little, it's either going to be a white cloud or a blue cloud. But if you click on that, and then click Help in Settings, and then I believe it's under Settings. Let's see, backup and then manage backup. And you can say that you want your entire desktop to be synced to OneDrive, or particular documents or particular files, and then it will sync it there for you. I have it so that some of my desktop items will sync to the cloud and some of them won't. Some are just, just draft documents that I don't need to sync to there, because if I lose them, it's not a big deal. But then it will automatically update from one side to the other. And I don't know if we have a tutorial yet on how to sync it, but we'll certainly make one if we don't have it. It's really like 4 steps. And I just Googled, how do I sync my OneDrive to my computer, and used whatever directions popped up from Microsoft. Thank you for this link too, Cherie. This was a great thing to share, the IT knowledge base in the portal. We're not used to having such a robust site and attention to documents from IT. So this is wonderful to have this, and to share that it's out here. What other questions do you have? Anything else that you'd like to be able to do, or questions that you have just concerning the Microsoft 365 usage? Devin, you're I don't know if on purpose, but you are muted.
It made me really happy. An hour ago, we were in a meeting with our Zoom representatives, and one of the Zoom representatives just did exactly the same thing of being muted and sitting there trying to talk. So it's not just me. I have a question that might be helpful for me and Jessica, and I don't know, perhaps for Cherie and the IT team as well. The Microsoft suite of applications, it's pretty big. I mean, there's a lot going on there. And they work together as a system. So as you've seen, you can have something that is in your OneDrive that is also shared in Microsoft Teams, that is also in SharePoint, that you can pull into Canvas. And in terms of thinking about helping faculty, and my focus is on faculty, that's what the Center for Teaching and Learning's mission is, but I think this probably applies to staff as well. In thinking about how best to learn these things, will it be more helpful to have, even if it's only a 15-minute thing, on something on each of the individual apps? Or is it more helpful to have sessions that look at the bigger picture and say, if you want to do this kind of work, here are 3 or 4 different ways that you could go about doing it?
I kind of like the second idea, Devin, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, if there's so much robustness and diversity in these apps, and they can be used in so many different ways, that latter approach might make more sense, but that's just me.
So that's where we could say, to Rand's earlier question, we're going to do a workshop on using Microsoft Office tools to collaborate with students. And in that workshop, we probably would end up covering Word, Teams, possibly SharePoint. Other thoughts on this? Sri noted that this would be helpful for their team as well. I saw a thumbs up from Michael, but I wasn't sure if it was a thumbs up agreeing with Frank.
It came up while Frank was talking, so I'm gonna, okay. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Thanks.
The other option too, and again, this can be included, but are examples of how it could be used. So we can say, yeah, you can collaborate using this, but then drilling it down just a little bit further, what might you collaborate on? So it's kind of looking at pedagogy past it then, like what would make a great collaborative assignment? That's also another option, or another angle to take too.
I think for future things that we do, and I've put this in the email, but just to reassure, anything that the Center for Teaching and Learning does over the next month, we will repeat. Because we know faculty and staff are struggling to get through the rest of the semester, and
we
may
are
see something that it's like, yeah, I would love to do that, but no, I'm not going to another workshop or Zoom meeting. So we'll be offering repeats of some of these. One of the things as we move forward with this today was a lot of information sharing. But future ones we'll do more of the here, why don't you dig in and play with this? If we're going to do something on collaborative work, we'll put you in breakout rooms and ask you to play with the tools and show us what you come up with, so that it's more interactive and less. But I think for all of these tools right now, we're still in an information sharing mode where it's here are the things that could be done, and then as we get closer to fall, let's start jumping in together and start doing some of them. So we are at 12:55. I want to thank Jessica for kind of taking the lead on this one. I will point out to you, I will put it in the chat room, or the chat thing. This is a link to the Lenoir-Rhyne, the Center for Teaching and Learning bookings page. I think all three of us, Jessica, Jenny, and I, are happy to work with you on if you've got questions about how you can use some of these tools. If you feel like you need kind of a more individual consultation than you're going to get in a Zoom meeting like this, feel free to schedule some time with one of us. In terms of actually using some of the tools, Jenny is probably our resident expert on like how to use Microsoft Excel. You don't want to come to me and ask me about how to use Excel, because I can probably show you how to make it count. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to do much. If it's more how might I use these tools to create learning experiences for students, whoever, any of us will be happy to talk with you about that. So thank you for being here today. I hope this was helpful. Thanks again, Jessica. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all for coming.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.